Oh, you must think this is a joke. How big old boy are you?
I already told you I'm 6'9", 595.
Well, you need one of them there diets. It sounded like to me.
She said she wanted a car that was a little less, so I took one of the tires off, and I said, now you got 3 tires. Is that less enough for you?
There's something wrong with you.
Huh?
There's something wrong with you. Huh? Hey, Sam, you on the mic with Mike.
Really?
Yeah, man, you called me in the middle of a podcast. Oh, really? You called me in the middle of a podcast. Hey, I'm going to tell you this. There is no right time to do the wrong thing.
That's right.
And there's no wrong time to do the right thing. Yeah. Hey, can you say hi to the Midwest Mayhem people?
What's going on, Midwest Mayhem people?
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Midwest Mayhem. He is Chad Christensen.
Hey.
I am Tron Smith. And man, I tell you, I have some information that I want to talk about today, but I got to get I got to pay the bills. Can we say that? We got to pay the bills first?
Pay the bills first.
Right, we got to pay the bills first. Because I think this is...
Here's $1. Here's $2.
Here's something that I think we really need to touch on. First of all, I want to thank Wilson Toyota.
Of course.
You know, I know we have this conversation every time we're on this podcast, and I think we should, to make sure that we take care of our sponsor that takes care of us. Wilson Toyota, 2212 South Duff Avenue, just a short drive from anywhere in the metro. And I say this all the time, and I just want to repeat this all the time. If you want to be treated the way you should be treated, at a car dealership or any other establishment that you're spending your money or paying for a service, you should come to Wilson Toyota to see how it's done.
I like it.
We do a good job of taking care of people. I say it a million times. Our brand is the way we take care of people. It's important. It's hard to do sometimes.
Agreed.
Because the customer is always right, even when they're wrong, kind of a deal.
They right.
But we do a good job. Again, come down and check us out. Wilson Toyota, 2212 South Duff Avenue, short drive from near Metro. And if you want to see what's going on by social media standards for you Instagram and Twitter people, Wilson of Ames. That's at Wilson of Ames. And if you're a Facebook or TikTok person, you can check us out at Wilson Toyota of Ames. And of course, if you really want to get down, roll with the big dog, you can holler at your boy. That's at Big Strong, 2 G's when you're as big as I am, and at Big Strong 1 on that Insta chat, right? Ooh, I know you're just waiting to hear that, man. You can't get down. But you know, man, hey, it's been a time, man, as we talk about the season changes, we talk about the industry changing. We're talking about having inventory now. It feels different to come in and have actual new cars available on ground.
It absolutely does.
All right? Does it make you a little uncomfortable?
No, not. Here's why with me. I think this time of year in general is the best time of year, period. One, my birthday's next month, and it's a birthday month.
Wow.
So it's getting close, so get ready. 2, the fact that we actually have the ability to say, you can take a car home today.
100%. It's been a long time. I can remember the days where our entire front lot was all new cars. I remember having 20 Camrys and 20 RAV4s, and I remember the days where our entire front lot was all new cars.
Right.
It's been years, but that was a different experience for the consumer. Now, if you get 5 cars, you're excited. It's like Christmas Day.
It is like Christmas Day.
But I gotta say, if you're interested or you're looking for a Toyota Tundra right now, we have it available. You can drive it home. We're talking plug and play, right? That's what they call it.
Absolutely.
Tacomas, the new Toyota Crown, man. That's a different car, man.
I love that car.
Yeah,
I do. I love that car.
I wasn't sure. when the car first came out. When I took a look at it, I wasn't sure if I was going to like, because it kind of reminds me of that Audi A7 kind of a feel when it comes to the look. I wasn't sure about if it was going to perform like what they say. But when you think about a car that Toyota has made, and I might be wrong on this, but I think they started making that in like 52, the Crown. So it's been around a long time. Yeah, it's been around a long time. I wasn't really sure where they were going with the car. It's replacing or in place of the Toyota Avalon, which we all knew was one of the nicest riding, comfortable cars that Toyota, I think, ever made. So I think when you come behind a car like that, it makes it tough. So I wasn't
you have
sure.
Expectations.
Well, yeah, and they were high.
They were high.
They were high. But once I got the opportunity to drive the car and experience the performance and the way it handles,
say right there.
It's a really good balance of a comfortable car and a performing car.
Right.
Has
all the features that you need and then some. But my biggest, and I agree with you. I was kind of on the fence, like, oh, what do you think? And then I jumped in it and took it for a spin. And after driving it, I was just like, man, this thing is smooth like butter. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
It was a neat thing. We had the opportunity to display that car over the weekend, where we had a tailgate, which was kind of cool, man. When you guys set up things and I'm not included, I never know what's happening. I just show up and it happens. And it's better that way because I overthink things and I'm always like, well, why don't we do this or do that? So I'd rather just say do it and show up. But Shauna Schwartz, I hope I said that right. Shauna Schwartz and the NOCC showed up for the tailgate.
Correct.
And they brought the thunder.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like they had put some thought into what was going to happen that day.
They took over. They took over, man.
Yeah,
and they
was
came
good.
in and they handed out things and they got the opportunity. And I just want to take this opportunity to talk to all of the males out there. It is extremely, extremely important to speak to your loved ones, wives, daughters, sisters, friends, neighbors, any female that you have in your life or not. Tell them how important it is to check for ovarian cancer. It's one of those things to where when I heard about it, I was like, man, this is just a simple stomach ache that can get extremely serious. So I'll challenge you. I know the NOCC has a website. Take the time, go there. We had Shauna Schwartz's information at one point. We'll get it again and get it up. If you're not familiar, you're not aware, man, take the time to figure out what that is. And hey, September 30th.
I was just going to go there. Get it.
Hey, September 30th, the word on the street is you're going to be in a tutu.
You know what? I will be in a tutu for a good cause. 100%.
All right, well.
100%. Hey, these chicken legs are going to look good.
Is there going to be some Cane's chicken legs or some Kentucky Fried?
Anyway, finger licking.
But no, September 30th, we're going to be there from 9 until whenever you get done walking or running this 5K.
It could be a while.
Might be next week. We'll be there, but come out, join us. Come by. It's a good time to get information, a good time. And bring your loved ones. Bring your wives, daughters. I mean, it'd be a good cause to come out and do that again.
Yeah, come join us.
September
Do the
30th.
walk with us.
Grays Lake, NOCC. Make sure you're there. We'll be there. My friend Haley's going to be there. She's gonna be there walking. My wife's gonna be there. Nikki's
My wife's
coming.
gonna be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big party. We're gonna throw a party. Maybe I'll take you guys to lunch afterwards.
I tried to get, and I was all in for it. I was gonna wear a tutu, get on a bike, and ride the bike to generate electricity for you to do a live podcast. But then I really started thinking about how much work that was gonna be, and I was like, there is no way I'm gonna generate that kind of electricity.
I don't think you can generate.
You would have been like, well, and that'd have been the end of it.
Well, anyway, hey, I didn't want to miss the opportunity to talk about that. That's coming up, and I really appreciate them coming in and be part of our tailgate on last Saturday. It was a great thing. We'll get some pictures up.
It was very good.
Again, you can always check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or TikTok. It's all the gang's all there. But I wanted to talk about something today that has got me fired up because for the past 365 plus days, you and I have been talking about this organization and this industry as a whole and how it needs to change. I got a story from my wife. She sent me. She actually called me first and was like, "Hey, have you heard about this story?" And I'm not going to say where it is, but I will say it affects us directly.
Oh no, you got my stomach all in knots. I'm nervous over here.
She sent me a story about a young lady that went into a car dealership to purchase a car. In this time, her and her sister, they have a company. I'm trying to tell the story without telling the story, without saying names. They have a company, a cleaning business. One of the girls' name is a different name, like Crystal or Diamond or something like that. Anyway, they go into this car dealership. They meet this salesperson, this young salesperson. He kind of gives them the quick runaround of the car's available, but maybe it's not available. Somebody else wants to drive it, kind of a deal. You know, that kind of old, dirty... Again, I'm not trying to attack anybody. It's just old school thought of selling cars.
Right.
Anyway, the lady leaves. Her sister calls the dealership, gets this young salesperson on the phone. He tells her the story. Hey, you know what? You're not going to be able to sell you the car. We got to wait until the other guy buys it. She says, okay. The young man does not hang his phone up.
Oh, no.
He puts it in his pocket and continues to, can we say locker room talk? You know, continues to have this locker room talk, proceeds to tell his buddies in the in the showroom how he thinks she's a stripper.
Oh, my Lord.
She's this and she's that, and he's having this long conversation. Unbeknownst to him, her sister is still in the lot and walks into his office and says, hey, if you're going to talk about someone, make sure your phone's off. Okay, this story gets better. The plot thickens. He, at that point, realizes his phone is on, so she decides, hey, I want to speak to the sales manager.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm a sales manager, and I really pride myself in what I do. And again, I'll tell you, I want to take care of people. So when you come into my office with an issue, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and give you my attention.
Yes.
We need to make sure we take care of customers. She walked into this guy's office and said he never turned from his computer, answered his phone when it rang.
Ooh.
And when she was finished, he pretty much looked at her and said, are you done?
No way.
So when we talk about...
It's going to get deep.
When we talk about this industry,
right,
and we talk about how the consumer feels about the car business,
right,
it's industries and it's companies like that place. I won't give you a state. You look it up yourself. That has ruined what we're trying to do.
Killing us.
So what I want to talk about today, and I want to ask of you, how do we make sure that never happens? First of all, it's never going to happen here.
No.
If you do that here,
ooh, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly.
Right? If you do that here, what does that make you, how does that make you feel when you hear that?
Well, on the initial thoughts of it, disgusted. And part of it's me being my age and going through the gauntlet of sales for 20, almost 30 years now, right? Of putting sales together, building trust, building relationships, making friends. And then to have someone do something as stupid as that. And what I mean is, you know, the locker room talk that you talked about and showing the lack of respect and not caring who heard it, whether it's about the customer or to the fellow, you know, guys and gals on the floor, whatever it might be. It's disgusting. And here's why. I work too hard. And I'm going to put this right on me. I work too hard to try to do the right thing and to try to make it a better situation. That's why I came on. It was in my interview. To have someone as knuckleheaded as that screw it all up for me.
Yeah, and that's where we are. And I want to kind of try to break this down. First thing I want to address is this. I shouldn't say every. Every is a tough word. I shouldn't say every. Most women that come into a car dealership are extremely uncomfortable already.
Right out of the gate.
Okay? We already have this weird aura about how car dealerships work. It intensifies, or what did I say that right? It intensifies
Yep.
when it's a female. Because of the way that it's just bad. We all know. We don't have to really break it down. It's just bad. And if you ask any female about what they think before they go into a car dealership, there's certain expectations. Mm-hmm. So this young lady already came in with a certain expectation that she was going to be treated a certain way, and it wouldn't be the same.
Little anxiety too, I'm sure.
You know, here's what I'm going to tell you. I love my wife. My daughter she's the best daughter any guy could have. I was raised by my grandmother. Women play a very strong part of my life. So when I hear that, I think that makes me more upset than anything else, that any individual male would talk down. And I'm going to say that. I'm going to say talk down.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I'm going to say talk down. And this young lady, her and her sister were very, they had a very, very good business. I mean, their cleaning business was like the size of like Mary Maids. So it wasn't like they were talking to, Linda and Diane that decided to clean houses. Right. I mean, they were buying a fleet of vehicles to run this company. So it was a big deal to begin with. But to have this individual just have that mentality to begin with, that's my first problem.
Well, and to just piggyback off that, get rid of people like that. Why are they in the industry? Get rid of them.
You said that? You say that out loud? I will tell you, just since you brought that up, I have been on that car dealership's website, and both the gentlemen that was named in that, and this was a news thing, by the way. This was on the news. Both of the gentlemen that were on that deal are both off their website. So either they took them off their website and they kept them, or they got rid of them. I would hope that the industry as a whole, the guy at the top, whatever manufacturer line that is, gets in the middle of that and make sure that it gets taken care of. Because I don't want that guy representing me.
Right. Well, think of it this, and again, I'm just throwing stuff out there. I walk into a doctor's office and I leave and they talk about me. You think they're going to be there afterwards if it gets out?
I hope not.
Absolutely not.
And I will say this because I'm in the business. I don't want to be. Let's not be naive here. We have crazy conversations.
There is banter.
We have crazy conversations, and I think this podcast is one of those things where I've been thinking about this since I heard that. Man, there's a time and a place to have those conversations.
Right. You remember that note I gave you?
Yeah,
remember that note I gave you?
I don't know that the workplace is that time, and because we spend so much time together, I think we all become friends and we get more comfortable with each other. And I think some of these conversations just come up.
Right.
I think we just have to be extremely mindful of who's around.
When you use a word like professional, right? When you're at work and we consider our careers a profession, and to be professional at your career. When you're at work, why not act like it?
I think you do for the most part. I mean,
You
again,
do.
I don't want to be naive to the point where we're not talking about this on a real level. The truth of it is we spend so much time together. We spend more time in the dealership than we do at home. To be honest with you, I see you more than I probably see my wife.
You're welcome.
That's not a good thing. If I had to choose, trust me, it would not be your face I would be looking at. But think about that. We do spend a lot of time here, and I think the more time you spend, the more comfortable you get.
Well, I was going to say comfortability plays a huge part in that.
I think those conversations come up, and you just have to be aware of it and make sure that it doesn't happen. So these young ladies, first of all, you treat a young lady, and this is, I'm just going to say this. People talk when the experience is bad.
100 times more than when it's good.
Yeah, and social media is a thing.
What?
She went and talked to the news, and then she got on TikTok, then she got on Instagram, then she got on Twitter. This thing is like a hurricane coming through this dealership, and they're not big enough to deal with this hurricane.
And hurricanes usually cause destruction.
It's destructive, right? But I don't think it's just destructive to that dealership or that state. I think it's destructive to the industry as a whole. Because people are going to hear that story and they're going to say, "Yep, I was right."
100%. They're going to go right back to what we're trying to dig ourselves out of that hole and become better, and they're going to push us right back in.
So let me ask you this: how do you take care of that situation?
That's a tough one, because if you're talking industry wise, how do you take care of something that you yourself can't control?
Let me ask you this: if you're the GM of that store,
right,
what do you do? Because I know the first thought, your first thought, your knee-jerk reaction is to fire people.
Well, yes, it would be probably the first thing, to put out the flames, right? Try to get control over the situation would be to eliminate. Hey, don't worry about it. We took care of that, right?
But
that didn't do anything. That was my point on it. It doesn't do anything to do that knee-jerk reaction.
Because I think that sales manager and that salesperson just leaves that store and goes to another store and continues
does
to
it all over again.
What was done the first time. And I think that's where as our industry, I think one of the gentlemen that they're talking about, I want to say when I looked on their website, he had been in the industry for 23 years. So that's a long time.
So a veteran.
To be in the industry.
Right.
And again, you're going to have those conversations. I think from the sales manager standpoint, you need to address that customer.
Well, I don't understand if they're in your office and you don't take the time to acknowledge and listen and have that conversation. To me, it's shame on you. I don't care how long you've been in the business. If that person is that upset and coming in there to let you know what happened, and you don't even acknowledge them, that's a shame on you moment.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, man. You get a lot of people that come in and like I said earlier, the customer's always right, even when the customer's wrong. I think you need to make sure that you listen
that's the key.
And get to the bottom of it. I'm a everybody in the same room type person. So it's like, let's get the customer in here, let's get the salesperson here, let's get her sister back on the phone.
Right.
And you know what? Address it correctly.
Right.
To let that young lady know, hey, I apologize. You got to apologize first in person. I mean, I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
I don't agree with firing, and it's weird. I don't agree with firing.
And it's a knee-jerk reaction.
I think you have that conversation. Now, there may be a demotion. I sure don't want a sales manager that handles my clientele that way, leading everybody else. I can tell you that. I always say, a group of lions being led by a sheep, you can handle, but a group of sheep being led by a lion, you got problems, right? So you got to look at that effect too, and who's leading who. I think you need to demote that guy and put him back on the sales floor and see. And I know this guy's probably listening to me saying, that guy, he don't know what he's talking about. I've been in the business longer than 23 years. Right. I know a little bit about a little bit.
But when we continue to talk about making the change takes effort. Correct? You can talk it, and it means absolutely nothing unless you do something about it. And you can't do it overnight. Regardless if this happens or something, you can't change things overnight. It takes work.
It's a deep issue. I said this maybe in our second podcast. I said, I think Denny Wilson should go to every dealership that is having this problem and just talk to them about normal stuff. Denny, who has molded Danny, so I'll say Denny and Danny now, have created this customer first mentality that I don't think it's not as easy as it sounds. Even I am uncomfortable sometimes because sometimes the customer, they're wrong. They're almost telling you, I know I'm not right here, but I want to be right.
But you're going to hear it anyway.
Yeah, you're going to do it.
And we're going to do something about it. Yep.
It's dealerships like this dealership that they need to be taught. They need a training class on how to take care of people. And I don't care how big or how small you are, every customer is going to count in your organization. And if you get one bad customer somewhere, you're in trouble. You can't afford to have. And even in large dealerships, I don't care if you're selling, 600 cars a month. You get one. If you miss one, and that 600 is $599, it's gonna make waves in what you do. So I think training for these at a manufacturing level.
Yeah, it has to go high.
It has to. I would love to talk to this dealership.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate the whole situation, because probably not. And again, I'm towing a line here. I don't know that the salesperson, meant for it to go to the extremes that it did by probably the banter. Right, what I'm saying, and it's a fine line I'm saying here because I don't know the situation, but the point is, it's a very hard lesson to learn.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: there is no right time to do the wrong thing.
That's right.
And there's no wrong time to do the right thing. It was wrong, and you got caught. It's like speeding.
That's what I was going to say.
It's like passing a school bus, right? If you don't get caught.
By the way, someone did that this morning with me, and I'm like, really? I watched them do it, and I was like, really?
It's like anything. If you don't get caught, it's still wrong. That kind of deal. And I think in this situation, he got caught. How do we make it as an industry work for all of us? If it were me, if I was a sales manager, if I was the GM of this store, I would bring this young lady back in, and I would publicly
100%.
I would publicly apologize to her, and we would become such good business partners that we would be doing a lot of business together. That would be the way. Now, is it going to change how she felt that day? No, but I think over time it would change the way of people perceive your dealership, because
if they walk the walk.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to swallow your pride, and you're going to have to address this young lady in her company, because they're in your community,
right? And
they're gonna be talking to a lot of people. They're gonna be cleaning different houses in different companies, and they're gonna be talking about you every step of the way.
100%.
What you do,
100%.
What you do now that it's there, right? Here's the deal. I'm a it is what it is person, right? I don't overthink anything. Once it happens, let's figure out how to either make it better and correct it. You know what I mean? We got to just take care of it. So that dealership needs to make sure that my question to the dealership is, do they actually know how? How many dealers don't know how to take care of customers?
Right.
And that's what's wrong with our industry right now. There's so many different dealerships. across all manufacturers.
And mentality of the dealerships, in the structure of the dealerships. And what I mean by those things is again, I think we are unique in how we do things. I think there's probably dealerships out there that do, you will be here 60 hours, you will do this, you will do that, all these lines, right? Well, if there's all these other lines that everyone has to follow, why is there not a line on the etiquette of how to conduct yourself?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with it. So I will tell you, as I try to break this down and just try to help any dealer that's probably, that has went through that or is going through that, or even the dealer that's dealing with it right now, it started at the top. The first thing you got to do is the owner's got to come in and he's got to show the support of that GM and say, hey, man, whatever you do, we need to make sure we correct this and let's go out and let's do it the right way. So the owner's got to come in and lay that trust on the GM. And then that GM's got to have that real, up close and personal conversation with that sales manager and make a decision as to, man, can this guy lead my organization? If my salesperson did something wrong and then I go piggyback and make it worse, then, man, am I the right guy for the job?
Right.
Your sales manager should be that stopgap between the customer and the salesperson, because the salespeople deal with a lot of people, and sometimes you hire bad people. I'm just going to tell you that.
Right.
It happens just for a body.
For sure.
Make sure that sales manager has what it takes to lead that group in the right direction. And then the sales manager's got to have the conversation with that salesperson and say, hey, are you the right fit for our organization? Not for where we are right now, because obviously where we are right now is not great. Right, because we're making decisions like that, but where we want to be, and then make the decision if that guy should be around or not. Now, hey, if he's a good guy and he just made a mistake, everybody makes mistakes. Okay, let's not jump, jump off a bridge.
Right.
Here. Everybody makes mistakes. Make sure that you have the right people, and if they're not, part ways and don't allow them to continue to bring it down. So there's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot of work to be done in this industry. That was something that I saw that was brought up to me that really kind of tweaked me the wrong way, and I've been chewing on it a little bit. We have to, as an organization and as an industry, make sure that things like that get put out and open. And if I was that manufacturer, calling out the manufacturer, whoever you are, if I was that manufacturer, I would take this at a high level and I would address these folks and make sure that we take care of them, because every single one of our customers count. Every single one.
100%.
All right. And if you don't treat them that way, guess what? 2212 South Duff Avenue, just a short drive from anywhere to Metro, Wilson Toyota. We would love to take care of that customer. And that young lady, at whatever state she is, I'm going to reach out to that young lady because I want to make sure that somebody's taking care of her. But again, stick with us, man. I can have this conversation.
This is like the tip of the iceberg start of a conversation.
Hey, that's why we do this every other week here at Midwest Mayhem. And if you're really going to kind of see it, you and I will have conversations. We'll post things. We'll get active. If you want to kind of track what's going on there, Instagram and Twitter at Wilson of Ames, Facebook and TikTok at Wilson Toyota of Ames. And if you really want to know how I feel about this situation, touch out to me. Reach out to me. Let me know. That's at Big Strong, 2 G's when you're as big as I am, and at Big Strong 1 on that Insta chat. Holla at your boy. Hey, man, I wanted to share that with you, and I wanted to share that with the people at Midwest Mayhem. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you.
Let me know.
Absolutely.
We'll talk.
I want to see some comments on this. I want to see what the reaction or what people actually think. I'd love to get some feedback.
I would love to get some female feedback on this thing. That would be great. Absolutely. So again, Midwest Mayhem, thanks for joining us, man. Hey, Chad, I appreciate you.
You too, brother. Let's get those 2 twos a rolling.